No matter what, the Alaskan Bush People's show has never failed to grab headlines. But when reality star Matt Brown abruptly vanished, things heated up. When he suddenly vanished, viewers were understandably concerned, and many pointed fingers at the Brown family. What transpired? After all the adventures, why did Matt opt to step back? How did his departure impact the family and the show? If the truth about Matt Brown and the Alaskan Bush People is what you're about to hear, it might alter your entire perception of them. A people from the Alaskan Bush. There was the first snowfall of the season on Brown's Mountain as well. Get down to the popular reality show's meat before we get into Matt Brown's departure. One American documentary drama is Alaskan Bush People. Format for reality shows. The Brown family's struggle for survival in the isolated woods is the subject of the reality show. People can't tear themselves away from their televisions as they watch a distant family. They reside in remote areas of nature. Their untamed upbringing was widely considered to be the truth. The original cast of the reality show included Billy Brown, Amy, and their 7 adult children. They have 6 children, 5 sons and 2 daughters. Reportedly, their children have strayed far from the path of civilization. They supposedly don't see any outsiders for 6 to 9 months of the year. Additionally, their accent and speech have formed after living in the woods for a long time. They call themselves a wolf pack quite frequently. All 9 of them share a 1-bedroom apartment for the night. Dwelling house. To rephrase, the Brown family was unique among all families. On May 6, 2014, the reality show debuted. The filming took place in the vicinity of Copper Center, Hoonah in Alaska. Sheikoff Island was also used for filming. This was the only season that filming did not take place in Washington's Okanogan County. The whole Brown family was there in Washington, D.C., while the series was filmed. The authenticity of the reality show was a big draw for viewers. Regrettably, they came dangerously close to alienating their audience when speculations began to arise that the reality program was staged. Lots of people were unhappy about it for a long time. Regardless, the program continued airing. The news of the show's renewal for a 10th season broke in April 2019 on Radar Online. The following November 13th of same year, the show's popularity continued to rise, and it was picked up for another season. On December 4, 2019, the show made its debut. On August 23, 2020, the debut of Season 12 took place. A tragedy struck the Brown family that year. Bear Brown said in an Instagram post that the 2020 Washington earthquake had leveled their family's home. Flash fires. Uncle Billy Brown passed away a year after that. His death was a blow to his loved ones and spectators alike. Billy suffered a seizure and died at 68 years of age. They were broken when the Brown family home burned down. They were determined to stay in the forest and protect the house, which held immense value to them. Rather than giving up, they continued their nomadic lifestyle and ventured farther into the bush. Rather than face the many challenges that city life brought, they preferred to remain in the forest. Copper River Valley was their new home following the fire. Lows of 60 degrees below freezing are not uncommon in Copper River Valley. They would have run out of time as winter approached if they stayed. Nonetheless, the Browns were unfazed. Collaboratively, they constructed a new cottage to shield themselves from the severe Alaskan climate. But it became increasingly difficult for them as the temperature dropped and daylight dwindled. They also chose to make advantage of the land's natural resources too. Built their little dwelling. They had to face other bandit bush people while they stayed in the forest. Even though it was difficult, they were able to handle it because they had done it for decades. Interviews were conducted with family members following the fire incident to gather information regarding their living conditions in the wild. Our family is living the way it was supposed to be lived, according to Billy Brown, the patriarch, by hunting, fishing, trapping, and bartering for what we need to exist. Indeed, that was the reality. When members of his family spoke, they spoke exactly what he had said. According to Amy, we figured out we didn't need modern society. We could live off the ocean and the forest. People are always claiming we have some kind of accent. I don't know where it comes from. I think it's from all the different people that live here in Alaska. Matt, addressing the question of their accent, later, Bam Bam said, You go through. Going through the forest and into the wilderness, and you just keep going. At the very end of the wilderness, just when you think you've reached the limit, that's where the bush begins, and no one ever goes there. Bear also explained why they were called the wolf pack. He said, "We stick together as a family, just like a wolf pack or tribe. The three of us are like the musketeers. It's a win-win situation. Although our way of life can be somewhat rudimentary, it's not like we're barbarians or primitive, as Gabe later clarified. Even though we live in the middle of nowhere," one of their sons, Noah, mentioned that they are all homeschooled and that they still learn a little bit about the culture from the lower 48 states. "The bush is a different place for girl time," Snowbird said. "Dolls and painting our nails aren't the only things we do. Our favorite pastimes are hunting and fishing. My name is Merry Christmas Catherine Raindrop Brown, but everyone calls me Rainy," Rainy joked before ending her statement. Although the lifestyles of the Alaskan Bush people were uncomplicated, many regarded them as one of the distinct ways of life. Had it ever been easy for them? There was a time when they were in danger. Things changed for the Alaskan Bush people when they relocated to Copper River Territory. They were still pleased, despite a few problems here and there, but their happiness was abruptly snuffed out when their lives were threatened. The Alaskan Bush people, according to their viewers, suddenly told them they had to leave their new homestead. An incident occurred during production and shooting was interrupted. What happened after this made the Discovery Channel capture the life of a secluded bush family. This message was presented at the beginning of the Fight or Flight episode. A greenish-tinted night vision camera showed the men charging out, heavily armed, as the Brown family fled in terror. The scenario began with the family being startled in the middle of the night by what sounded like 2 gunshots fired outside. "Then the unthinkable happens," a voiceover stated. Then came the 3rd shot, and the men were filmed waiting in the dark with the camera rolling. Alarmed, the men fled to the safety of the cabin. Billy yelled out, "This land is not worth dying for," with these shots. For a long time, their watchers and everyone else watched as the terrified family fled the area, leaving behind nothing but the anxiety that had driven them. They eventually settled on a boat in Ketchikan, right where they had begun. Wanted to know all that happened? The secret was revealed a year and a half after the show had aired and the family had departed from the property. A neighbor had fired the rounds. Yes, that's correct. After filming wrapped in late 2012, the crew left the property, which is located in a subdivision less than 10 miles south of Copper Center, and according to a survey, the 5 acres of Alaskan wilderness had a neighbor. It turned out that their neighbor liked his slice of Alaska without the wings of helicopters. Based on the survey, the area is sufficiently forested. The production crew had to employ a bear guard with a shotgun after learning they had a neighbor, and the property is easily accessible from a dirt road off the highway. A pizza place is located approximately half a mile away. Standing next to them was Jason Hull, a 46-year-old director of regional economic development from Albany, New York, who had been an Alaskan since 1996. Jason finally opened up after a barrage of questions about how he became frustrated with the show's production. As for the gunshots, Jason denied ever firing a shot at the cabin, but admitted to launching 2 or 3 mortar-type fireworks into the sky as a helicopter filming aerial footage roared over his house, while his neighbor, the Browns, yelled at them and their chainsaws buzzed non-stop. During dinner, he noticed the helicopter pounding away just above the treetops on his property. He tried waving it away multiple times, but when it became too much, he decided to shoot a couple in the air, not in the vicinity, to get their attention. "Outside of my home." According to Megan Peters, a spokesperson for the Alaska State Troopers, a neighbor of the Browns did report fireworks near a helicopter, and a trooper did respond to the complaint. However, the Brown family did not submit a report regarding this. Although the trooper did not press charges after reviewing the video evidence of the incident, Jason was not entirely exempt. Even though the Browns did not sue him, he was fined by the Federal Aviation Administration. Fined $500 for the willful discharge of 3 artillery-type fireworks close to the Robinson R-44, as stated in the order signed by a senior FAA attorney in February 2013. The order further stated that the fireworks created an immediate danger to the flight and the 3 people on board the aircraft and in the helicopter. During filming, Daniel Zatz, an Emmy winner and owner of an aerial cinematography company contracted by the Bush People producers, and his pilot noticed a green flash about 40 to 50 feet from the R-44. Upon seeing this, they climbed out of the area and contacted the troopers. Zatz apparently failed to grasp that it takes the slightest obstruction to our tail rotor would render us completely incapacitated, according to Daniel. He deemed Jason's account of the helicopter's treetop height to be somewhat exaggerated, as it was not safe to fly at such low altitudes. Additionally, Daniel shared that the lightweight R-44 does not generate sufficient vibration to shake a house. Later on, Daniel also brought up the point that the producers on the ground should have been more communicative with Jason prior to the overflight. Daniel revealed that he always made sure that the crews contacted their neighbors before he began filming scenes from above. It was reasonable for Jason to have a grudge against the Browns. Apparently, few in the Alaskan bush were fond of or friendly toward them. We'll have to wait and see if this holds true. A few locals were not happy about the unexpected influx of visitors, says Billy Williams, owner of Grizzly Pizza. This Richardson Highway eatery turns up in 2 episodes. The crew was carrying cameras and refused to reveal their activities in order to preserve the pre-screening secret of the show. The deal was really sealed by the helicopter flying overhead, Williams stated. Some people were very upset about them, Williams continued. Refused to allow them to be filmed. Would rather they not be there. Their depiction of the neighborhood was inaccurate. Even though I've lived here my whole life, I still didn't think they did a terrible job. Williams mentioned that his wife had organized a group of friends to come to the Brown property and assist them rebuild their cabin. Williams also mentioned that Discovery had attempted to force them to live in the tarp hut over winter, and at the end of the last scene, snow began to fall on them, with temperatures dropping to 10 degrees below freezing. The weather forced them to stay at the Chatina Hotel for over a dozen crew members, who then went to Uncle Tom's Tavern for some post-work fun. Was on the show. Rumor has it that the tavern's owner, Tom Wessner, was appreciative of the business and the attention it brought to his establishment. Wessner also reportedly spoke highly of the newcomers' politeness, which he compared to that of the Alaskan Bush people. Personally, I didn't find this offensive. For those involved in the filming process, members of the family dropped by mid-shoot to help set up the camera and carry out their duties, but that was about it, even though many people adored the Bushes. Many were apprehensive of them. According to Matt Loren, who is the editor and publisher of the Copper River Record, a local newspaper based in Glen Allen, the exhibit provided a boost to the economy during the fall, when visitors typically leave the area. After watching the Papa Pilgrim disaster personally and being scared of seeing the Copper Basin portrayed inaccurately on reality TV, he went on to say that the general sentiment was negative. Many people in the community had sought out credible information about the family's history by contacting the Copper River Record. Upon seeing his message, the production crew and another group filming in the middle of the subdivision road both declined to answer. Matt revealed, "It was pretty clear that 95% of the people saw the farce. Over there. To me, it's quite similar to professional wrestling in terms of reality television." Reviewer Ryan Barron of Channel Guide magazine was among many who were perplexed by another plot shift that occurred at this time. We are informed that someone became enraged because the Browns were carrying television cameras, so they opened fire on them. What followed is vaguely described. Are the authorities involved? Is an investigation underway? Ryan, in a public online post, said, "Listen, I appreciate that the police force is likely already overburdened in this area, but I would expect the Alaska State Troopers to come up, or at least put on a different show, in response to death threats and gunfire." According to Trooper spokeswoman Peters, no one ever reported shooting to the troopers. However, Sean Martin, the communications director of Discovery Channel, asserted that additional gunshots were fired for several days prior to the helicopter incident. When questioned about the show's decision not to use the helicopter footage and file a report with the police, Hulk also revealed that, despite being their neighbor, he never heard any gunshots near the home. Martin added that the Discovery Channel will not be making any additional comments and that the show's recognized production company, Park Slope Productions, did not respond to a request for information. "We live a different lifestyle here. The production crew blew it when it came to community relations and then came up with a show that insults the Copper River Valley. The city is not where we are. That in no way indicates that we are a group of dweebs. Remove the portrayal of Alaskans as naive, Hull said. This was a contentious aspect of the Alaskan Bush people, and the tensions rose when Matt Brown, a cast member, vanished without a trace, leaving viewers to speculate about what might have happened. I mean, come on, I've already encouraged you guys to get together when the Brown family premiered on Alaskan Bush People years ago, and now that person has mysteriously vanished, so let's find out what happened. The show showed the affection and camaraderie that existed among the family members, and everyone could see it. They had a lot in common, including their dialect, but many have wondered if it was real or fake. One thing was certain, the Brown family cherished itself. Regrettably, that all changed. Notoriety and popularity brought many dark secrets. As these secrets were revealed to the world, the relationship within the family weakened. Things took a turn for the worst when over half of the family was implicated. Everyone involved had run-ins with the law and spent time behind bars. Their lives were filled with drama, both in front of and behind the camera. In the middle of all that family strife, one of the Brown kids just up and disappeared. Oddly enough, nobody ever talked about or investigated his disappearance, regarding which other relatives were informed. Following Billy Brown's death, the spotlight was on Amy Brown and her children, Bam Bam, Bear, Gabe, Noah, and Mary. The family chose to start anew without Matt and Billy, and everyone anticipated that. Concerning the disappearance of Matt Brown, the eldest son of the Brown family, no one spoke out until later in 2024, when it was reported that, unlike some Bush family members, Matt did not have any verified profiles on social media. However, investigations later revealed. While the rest of the Brown children seemed to be rushing into marriage, Gabe, Noah, Bear, and others were thinking about their futures, Matt managed to maintain an active and authentic account with over 200,000 followers in 2024. At least his fans knew he was still around. Snowbird. At first, viewers might not have noticed Matt's disappearance. The Brown family was highly active. Rumor has gone that even Amy may have noticed, what with the arrival of numerous grandkids and the loss of her husband. Disappearance, particularly when she began experiencing health problems. In 2019, Matt released the album Alaskan Bush People without much fanfare. In a fit of rage, some of his fans began to harass the family on social media, assuming that they were trying to show that they didn't care about him. The family was very close, but Matt was left out and remained in Alaska when the rest of the family relocated to California due to Amy Brown's treatment. Some speculated that this was not Matt's decision or desire, but he remained put. But a product of the times. Matt's struggle with substance dependence was well known for a long time before he departed the show. Rumor has it that this struggle may have put a strain on his family relationships. The family was far from ideal, but they could not tolerate having a member who was unable to cope without substances. Eventually, in 2016, he checked into an alcohol treatment facility, which led many to speculate that Matt might have stayed behind instead of moving with the family in 2018. It was widely assumed that he opted to remain in California for treatment, which cut him off from his family. Following this, he kept working on his health and checked into rehab again in 2018. Things got interesting when Matt decided. The reality TV star addressed his disappearance in April 2021 on Instagram, stating, "Everybody had told me that other people's secrets aren't mine to tell, but they're destroying me, and they've been destroying me for a long time." He went on to say that his time on Alaskan Bush People had contributed to his troubled life. "There is nothing to eat, I am freezing, and I have no money." In the video, Matt alleged that the production gave his family substances, and he also didn't profit from the show's success. According to him, he was abandoned, neglected, and rejected by his family. "We made a lot of money from the show." According to Matt, who claimed that his family had withheld more than $300,000 from him, and because my dad controlled everything, all the money went to him. This left him with no money whatsoever. That was all kept by my dad. Was this the sole reason Matt severed ties with his family? No, in the same year that he struggled with substance abuse, he was also accused of forcibly having sexual relations with 2 women. Both ladies came forward during an interview that The Sun had in September 2020. Asserted that Matt had completed the deed shortly after consuming a large amount of alcohol. They viewed Matt as a horrible human being. The allegations were then submitted to the Topanga Division of the Los Angeles Police Department. The investigation reached the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. According to The Sun, the prosecutor declined to press charges. At the time, the news network issued a statement reading, "Discovery Channel was approached several years ago regarding the grievances, regarding them as deeply troubling and immensely grave. Given the seriousness of the claims, we both felt it was necessary to notify the appropriate authorities right away. We thought the police would be the best people to deal with any cooperation, despite everyone's best efforts to." Matt didn't say a word when asked to discuss his transgressions. Neither did he dispute nor defend himself against the accusations. Matt continued to keep his followers informed about his life through his YouTube channel, which he created in 2019, even though he no longer appeared on the show. Matt now calls the North Mount Cascade, which is close to his Washington family's North Ranch house. Matt posted a video to Instagram the day before the October 2022 premiere of Alaskan Bush People Season 14, giving fans a sneak peek at what was to come. He told his supporters everything that's been going on in his life in the video. He let his audience in on the inner workings of an orchard. He mentioned that he was moisturizing the plants in that place. Matt has kept his fans apprised of his progress in recovery on multiple occasions. He recounted his triumph against adversity. He battles with his bad habits. Through his Facebook and TikTok accounts, he also made sure his supporters were informed about his everyday activities. He pointed out, "I've had to sacrifice to get through, and all the little things fall by the wayside when we do that. This is for me." Affirmation that our goals are attainable with consistent, methodical effort. By no means am I claiming success at this point. Still, I'm celebrating my small successes. More and more people are wondering how Matt's relationship with his other family has changed as he has become more successful. Members. Despite his tight relationship with the Browns, Matt's lack of communication with his mother and siblings came to light. Away from them, he kept his life. Bear Brown, Matt's younger brother, revealed further information regarding their troubled relationship later in 2021. "Matt's been doing his own thing," he told Distractify back then. When Bear promoted the show's 14th season in 2022, he said, "I don't see him much these days. I hope that he finds the peace and serenity in his life that he's looking for, though." Soon after, viewers wanted to know if Matt was returning. All they wanted was for him to make an appearance on the reality show again. Regrettably, their expectations were not met. Bear retaliated in the comments area, detailing why Matt was against joining the Wolfpack in response to their request. The reason behind taking his family? It doesn't make any sense. This exacerbated the already existing conflict between the two brothers. There were whispers of a cancellation 3 years after the last episode aired. The official term for the show is that it is on hiatus, he stated in an Instagram video from March 2025, disproving the rumors. Although Bearer and his family are now not filming their show, he made it clear that Alaskan Bush People is not cancelled. Contemporary Alaskan Bush People. Regardless of, according to Bear, there have been no cancellations and fresh information is available. Various rumors have claimed that a $500,000 lawsuit between Robert Mann, the business partner of late patriarch Billy Brown, and the estate of Billy Brown is set to put an end to the Alaskan Bush People. The Discovery Channel series reportedly ended on March 10, 2025, according to an article in The Sun. Premiered in December 2022, and there will be no more filming of the show. According to the news source, Robert had also sued Billy's estate and the company Alaskan Wilderness Family Productions in April 2021 for breach of contract. Amy Brown testified when the case reached trial. In the attestation, she allegedly made numerous past tense references to the program. According to many experts, her remarks marked the end of the Alaskan Bush People. Court records and witness testimony confirm that Alaskan Bush People ran for a total of 14 seasons, the last of which aired in 2022. As reported in the U.S. Sun. Another document assertion follows later on in the same vein. These violations happened despite the fact that Alaskan Wilderness Family Productions made a lot of money, especially from the Discovery Channel series Alaskan Bush People. Channel Management System. What are your feelings now that you know why Matt vanished? In your opinion, the Browns should not have left him behind. In your opinion, is the Brown family more responsible than Matt? In what ways am? How does it make you feel to know that the indigenous inhabitants of the Alaskan bush might never return? Please share your opinions in the space provided. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you found this video entertaining. View the other videos that are currently playing on your screen before you go.